My name's Carson and I grew up in a Christian household, and I was introduced to Jesus at a very young age. I never doubted he had died for my sins, but I also never quite decided to truly follow him. And slowly but surely, I began to grab hold of each and every single thing that I could put on the altar that was not God. When I got to college, things finally came to a head. When my freshman year, things took a turn in my own personal life with my family. This began my bad habit of coping with drugs and alcohol. On paper, I was doing it really well. Everybody thought, oh, Carson's got it figured out. When on the inside, I was struggling. I was dying on the inside, and I carried those bad habits on with me to the workforce. And I eventually found myself with a great job, a great salary. I was in a good relationship. I was engaged. It eventually got to the point where I was so caught up in my brokenness and just ashamed of the sin that I had found myself in that I didn't think there was any way out. And I tried to take my own life. I was distraught afterwards because I had essentially tried to pull the plug on my own existence and it didn't work. And so I continued to drink and use drugs. And I found myself eventually drinking up to 100 drinks a week. I was stealing prescription drugs from family members. And it ruined everything. My fiance and I, we had to cancel our wedding. It hurt the relationship I had with my family. And long story short, I eventually found myself not even being able to show up to work unless I was high or intoxicated. And that's when I knew I was going to die out there. And I don't know where the wisdom came from other than from God. But something had me pick up the phone and just call my parents one day and say, Mom and Dad, I got to come back home. And I slowly but surely began to wake up and fall in love with Jesus through the love I was seeing through my parents, who were strong believers, through the love I was seeing through my Christ-centered recovery group, through the love I was seeing through my community group at church. Like I finally started to get plugged into the right things. And eventually Jesus, he woke me up and he said, all you need is me. My whole life, whenever I was faced with weaknesses, insults, hardships, persecutions, and calamities, I would just run to anything but God. I would run to anything that could even just temporarily make that pain go away. And I'm now sitting here almost 3 years sober. And now I know that I can keep my head held high. I can boast in those weaknesses. I can run to Christ and his power can rest upon me. And he actually gives me strength to say I can get through today. I don't have to turn to drugs or alcohol. And it's an amazing thing. It's, dare I say, supernatural. God is the father of lights. Satan's the father of lies. I've been living in lies for 30 years. I'm finally hiding in the light, and that's a beautiful thing.